Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining me on The Maker's Intent. I'm your host, Mike Downer, and once again, joined by the very handsome Kyle Greenfield. He is the president of AF Johnson Millwork. How are we doing today, Kyle?
Doing great, Mike. Thanks.
Hey, no worries at all. So the last few episodes, we got into all the different aspects of retail and everything else. Today, I think we're going to switch it up a little bit, and we're going to talk custom versus modular and which they should choose. So, when should a business choose custom millwork over modular?
Well, I think there's quite a few of them, but the basic idea behind it would be when you want it to stand out and be a one-of-one or a one of just yours. When you're really trying to set your own lookup, then you want to be custom.
No, that makes complete sense. So what does the real cost difference between custom millwork and modular look like over a 10-year period?
Well, I guess you'd have to figure out exactly what type of modular we're talking about. There are ones that are very repeatable, but are a very good quality standard, compared to ones that are more of the Temu brand stuff, that you kind of get what you pay for on those.
Yeah.
But if we're talking one that is a higher end finish, a quality finish, modular versus custom, the cost difference really isn't all that much. The main difference is, as it becomes highly repeatable, we don't have to re-engineer everything. Whereas a custom, you're going to have some engineering on the front end. But depending on the size of the piece, that might only be a few hours of extra work on it. So the cost difference really isn't going to be that much. When you're talking about creating your own brand, your own space, your own environments, and you're going to own that for years and years and years, and all your customers are going to see it. And I think that is definitely worth the cost difference there.
Agreed. And it is, it's going to sound silly, but it's hard to put a price on individuality.
Exactly.
So, and especially if the cost isn't, bank breaking, then, it's, quality is worth a little bit more. Now, let's go to the other side. There's got to be some situations that you could say that modular is a smarter choice for a business. What situations would those be?
Absolutely. We see that a lot in medical, Mike.
Yes.
The patient rooms are very, very duplicatable. And if you think about how they're used, a doctor is going to rotate between a number of rooms. And so you want that room set up pretty much the same, no matter which room that doctor goes into. So they are just as efficient in all of them. Modular is definitely a way to go. Then, we wouldn't want those rooms to be all individual and all different.
Makes sense. So let's go to the other side of the coin again. Yeah. When does investing in custom millwork make more sense than going modular?
There's a couple different times that I can think of. First would be if you have a specific need. So if we're building something for you, and you're like, boy, I could make this modular piece of work, but it'd be really nice if I had a place to put all my stuff. I want the computer to sit a certain way on that desk or something to that effect. When you're going custom, we can build around how you're going to use it. And I think that is really important, the functionality of it. And kind of going back to the first time of what does it cost? Well, if we can make you more efficient by using whatever piece we're building and how you're using it, it might end up being cheaper in the long run just because you can make more money with it. You're more efficient.
Yeah, no, that makes complete sense. The cost savings and the income potential is huge.
Correct.
So how can custom millwork help a business stand out and strengthen its brand?
Well, I think in one of the last episodes we talked a little bit about colors and that kind of thing.
Yes.
I know we're not necessarily talking about retail as much there, but uh, I think this question kind of ties back into you're starting to build the look of your business, the feel of your business, whether you walk in, have the right piece and kind of feels warm and homey, or slick and sophisticated, or something to that effect. It, when we're working with you on what to pick out and how to feel about it, uh, the colors, the textures definitely matter. Um, a lot of food and beverage industry is very specific on that, what kind of mood they want set, especially when they're trying to sell big expensive drinks and make somebody feel real comfortable and order a couple more.
Yes, sir. I've been a
They,
victim of that.
exactly. I think we all have.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, I've definitely, noticed that in play. Um, so why is flexibility and future adaptability important when choosing between modular and custom?
Well, if you know it's going to be changing in a hurry, Mike, we can adapt to that. Working with a big box store right now, that the retail products that they're displaying, they want changed out often. And right now they just kind of have to wreck the whole wall out and start again. So we're working with them on what happens if we don't wreck the whole wall. What if we can get these panels removable? So then you can change them out as quick as you need to. And for them, it's how they're displaying and promoting certain products. So it's how they're making their money. And the quicker we can help them with that, the less downtime that they have and the more products they can show off, the more money they're going to make.
No, it makes complete sense. So, what are the top questions that a business owner should ask before deciding between modular and custom?
I think for that, it's just recapping kind of what we already talked about. Is one, how they're going to use it.
Yep.
Two, how many places are they going to have it and how repeatable do they want it? Kind of back to the doctor's office. And then three, how much is it part of your brand? How much are you trying to create that brand? And if you're not necessarily a real customer forward area, in other words, it's just your own employees in your space, they might not need the super custom. You're not really trying to build a huge brand inside that location. So the super custom might not be that important for a person like that.
No, that makes complete sense. Great question. Great question. So, what's the hidden cost about growing a modular setup sooner than expected?
I don't know them all off the top of my head, Mike, but
Well, just some of the hidden costs, just some of the things that you've run around. What are some of the costs of, just outgrowing a modular setup when you're trying to save money and you outgrow it quicker than expected? What are some of the costs that go behind that?
Sure. Well, the biggest ones you're going to have to add to or rebuy right away. That would be in a hurry. I think more of the hidden cost gets back to the how are you going to use it? And we kind of talked about that a little bit ago. How efficient can you be with it? And if you help us learn how you're going to use it and what you're really going to use that space for, we can make it as efficient and as comfortable for you. And I think that really can make a difference on how you use the space, how efficient you are in the space, and how much money you can use it to make in the future.
No, that makes complete sense. So here's, I always like to wind this up and see if I can get you to tell me a story. So can you share an example of a business that started out with modular and later upgraded to custom millwork, and what prompted that change with that business?
That's a great question. You threw me off on this, so you got me today, Mike. Yeah, so the area that I'm thinking of now was pretty custom to begin with, but they kind of had a back of the house, shouldn't matter, no big deal area. And what they found was that people that got stuck in the old area, the non-custom area, didn't seem to have the job satisfaction, and or we're trying to get out of that area a little bit. Worked out well for us. We had to go back in and remodel the other half, the back half, within a couple of years, and kind of make it match the other side. So that part was a little bit fun, just seeing how much people, a lot of the employees there really enjoyed the custom side compared to the old side, as they called it.
Oh, no, that makes complete sense. So, yeah, so that, see, I didn't throw you off. You gave me an example. You always do a good job with the story portion. You always come up with something good, Kyle.
Yeah, you always make my brain work, Mike.
Well, you know what? I'd rather make your brain work than mine. So I'm just the guy asking the questions. Once again, it's been a lot of fun talking to you. I always enjoy our conversations. So we'll talk about maybe some restaurants or some engineering or something next time. We'll come up with something fun.
Sounds good.
All right. Thanks again for joining me, and we'll talk soon.
All right. See you soon, Mike.